Good morning, Troll School again. I'm going to read a book for you today called How Do Space Vehicles Work by Buffy Silverman. On the Launchpad, a rail car carries the Soyuz spacecraft. The car brings it to a launch pad. The spacecraft will take astronauts to the International Space Station. Astronauts live and work there. Some carry people and others carry machines. A rocket and a capsule make up the spacecraft. The rocket will launch the capsule into space. The crew will ride in the capsule. Many people check the spacecraft. They practice the jobs they will do during the launch. Workers load the rocket with fuel. Spacecraft need energy to reach space. The energy comes from burning fuel. Tanks in the Soyuz are filled with liquid fuel. These are the tanks. The rocket also carries oxygen. Fuel needs this gas to burn. Oxygen is a gas in the air. The rocket must carry oxygen because there is no air in space. The crew enters the capsule. The final hours tick down and the countdown clock. Time for blastoff. Liftoff. Rocket engines turn fuel into hot gas. The gas shoots out the back of the rocket. The rocket also shoots out flames as the engines burn the fuel. The hot gas pushes the rocket. The rocket soars up. The force that pushes a rocket is called thrust. Gravity pulls on the spacecraft. Gravity is a force. It pulls things to Earth. Gravity pulls you down when you jump. How does a spacecraft keep from being pulled back to Earth? It speeds away. It travels more than 4 miles per second to reach space. Gravity is much weaker there. 4 boosters make up the first stage. The rocket has 3 sections. They are called stages. Each stage lifts the spacecraft for part of the launch. Each stage burns its fuel. Then it falls away. The rocket has less weight to lift. The second stage falls away high above the Earth. Soon the capsule splits from the rocket. It has reached space. This blue haze is the atmosphere. It is the air around Earth. Space is beyond it. In orbit, the capsule travels through space. It orbits the Earth. Orbit means to travel around something. Try to launch a ball into orbit. Throw it hard and it travels far. But Earth's gravity pulls on it. The ball curves and falls down. Gravity pulls on a spacecraft in orbit too. The spacecraft is falling, but it travels very fast. The curve of its fall matches the curve of the Earth, so it stays in orbit. The Hubble Space Telescope is another spacecraft orbiting Earth. There is no air in space. The temperature can be very hot or cold. A spacecraft keeps the crew warm or cool. It carries air, food, and water. A spacecraft's solar panels make electricity from sunlight. The space station orbits Earth every 90 minutes. The space station also orbits Earth. The capsule reaches it after 2 days. So it takes them 2 days to get up to the space station. The Soyuz docks. It is connected to the space station. The astronauts will stay for 6 months. There is little gravity inside the space station. People can float around. Returning to Earth. Other astronauts have worked on the space station for many months. They return to Earth in the Soyuz. The capsule leaves the space station. The crew fires rockets to slow the capsule in space. It falls out of orbit. Gravity pulls it to Earth. Astronauts don't have much room inside the capsule. The ends of the capsule drop off. Only the middle part will return to Earth. The capsule rubs against air as it enters Earth's atmosphere. This rubbing is called friction. Friction heats the outside of a spacecraft. A heat shield keeps the spacecraft from burning. Friction slows the speeding spacecraft. Parachutes slow it even more. It floats safely to its landing spot. And that's how they got back to Earth. And here we have a diagram of the space vehicle. The fuel, stage 1, drops off first, and then stage 2 and 3. And this is the capsule that flies all the way to the space station. Here we have some fun facts. The United States used space vehicles called space shuttles from 1981 to 2011. The shuttles carried astronauts on more than 130 missions. Since 2012, the space shuttles are at museums. Most spacecraft do not carry people. They are unmanned. Weather satellites are one type. They orbit the Earth and take pictures. These pictures help the scientists predict weather. A new unmanned spacecraft landed on Mars in 2012. Others have landed there before. They sent pictures and information back to Earth. Some spacecraft are no longer in use, but are still in orbit. So are bits of paint, fuel, and dust. All this is called space junk. That's the end. Thanks for tuning in to Troll School again. See you later.